Hello and welcome to the complete Victory Guide to Ranges and Families, and in this video we are looking at the Victory Kraken Series with him, Martin Kidd.
And him, Chris George.
Martin, let's talk about the Kraken. It's been a mainstay of the Victory catalogue for quite some time.
Yeah.
There's a bit of backstory because the current version that we're on is the Mark II.
Yeah.
The amp in front of us is the Super Kraken, but there's also the lunchbox version, which looks very similar to this, although I found this is one of the old Mark I Krakens. We'll talk about the difference between Mark I and Mark II, but firstly, I just really wanted to get your take as to how did the Kraken come to be? I assume you're going to talk a lot about Rabea as well.
I am, because it's his fault. So he kind of, I think there was some involvement with Victory, but then it was suggested that we might do, because I think we'd started being known for our little lunchbox format amplifiers, and so Rabea wondered whether it would be possible to do one for the higher gain metal players, modern metal, detuned guitars, etc. And could we make a lunchbox that could do that? And so that's how it started. Rabea's, in terms of what he would like it to sound, or how he'd like it to sound, his two amps that he'd had in a previous rig, not the one he was using at the time, were one was a JCM 900 dual reverb and one was a 5150. But I believe that was the Mark I version. The 5150, I wanted to, how should I put this, but my thoughts on the original 5150 was that the overdrive channel was there was almost too much gain, but it became a bit compressed and difficult to use, in my opinion, once you got past about 1 o'clock.
Okay.
So I wanted to tighten things up. At the same time, not base my circuit on a Soldano, but come up with something that gave me the sound without copying anything.
Sure, and as with all things, I just wanted to mention exactly that this is not a copy, as with all the other things that are nods to other amp ranges. This was your own original design, wasn't it?
Yeah, I like to do that. I'd rather, it's a challenge. That's the pleasure I get from it.
Of course.
Can you do this? Yes, I can do this, but I'm going to come up with a circuit in my head which I think will work, and then I will tweak it.
Yeah. What was your approach to trying to sort of fulfill that brief? Because the 900 and the 5150 are two quite different amplifiers.
Yeah, they are, yeah.
And so how did you go about implementing those two different tones into one product?
Yeah, they are quite different. And the one interesting thing is that the dual reverb, the bulk of the overdrive sound you hear from one of those is solid state until it gets to the tone stack.
Yeah.
It was a peculiar thing. Do I really want to make it sound like a valve, sound like an overdrive pedal?
Sure, yeah.
Which I didn't want to.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, I'll get it in terms of the amount of the gain range available. Also, the tone stacks they're slightly different. They're quite close on those two amps. There's not a lot of difference, but that was a kind of it wasn't a dilemma, but it's just a case of, well, I'll come up with a sound that gives that range of gain for gain one, but I will make it a slightly higher gain for as a ballpark reference point, a higher gain JCM 800. It's a peculiar channel because when you get it up at gig volumes, you can actually use that channel for a lot, including your solos.
Sure.
Because you've got the independent master volumes.
Yep.
So you can even do that. You can do a lot from the guitar's volume. So it actually even surprised me how versatile that first channel can be. And a lot of people, that's all they use on that amp is channel 1 and the 2 masters. And then the 5150 idea, I probably, in tightening it up, I've come up with something that's more like the Mark II version of the 5150 with a softer attack. The 5150's got that thing that Van Halen sound which he wanted from his plexes, from the old vintage Marshalls, which they were fairly stock. But they had that attack on the note. I kind of softened a bit just because I liked it, and Rabir did. He seemed to like it. Otherwise, I'd have changed it for him.
Well, quite a big feat, I would say, to try and do it, but obviously you did. Rabir obviously started using the amp straight away when it came out. Yeah. Since then, many other players have started using it. It's become one of the most popular amps in the whole of the Victory catalogue.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the range. As I said earlier, what you're seeing in front of us here is the Super Kraken, but there is the Lunchbox version. As I said earlier, it was updated a few years ago. If we were to talk about the features on the Lunchbox and compact head, which are the same thing, one is in a wooden sleeve, one is a metal box, basically. You've got 2 different channels, obviously, but you did add a clean channel into the Mark IIs as well.
Yes.
So you've got like a pseudo third channel in there as well. Yeah. Shared EQ, 2 different master volumes. And the output of the Lunchbox version is 50 watts.
Yes.
With the ability to switch down to a low power of
9, 7, 9, 10,
sure.
Depends on the valves.
Exactly.
Really.
And so valve complement in the Lunchbox and compact heads is
it's 4 12AX7s.
Yep.
And then 2, we fit them with 2 6L6s as standard.
Yeah.
But they can take EL34s or KT77s
sure.
or KT66. They
Yep.
can take anything kind of in that range. There's scope on the bias to cope with all of those.
Sure. When we get to the Super Kraken, it's obviously double the power, it's 100 watts, double the power valves essentially.
Yep.
And also MIDI in the Super Kraken.
MIDI switching, yeah.
Yeah. And the front panel is just a little more elongated and it has a few more LEDs on the front, but works in a very similar way to the Lunchbox head as well, doesn't it?
You've got on the rear panel, there's the bass focus, which people can't see from the front.
Yes, I was going to say about other little things like that. You've got what exactly is happening with the bass focus?
It works in the negative feedback, and it's like a low frequency presence or a resonance control on some other amps.
Yeah.
So it alters the amount of negative feedback, but only at low frequencies. So you can actually give the power amp more gain
sure.
at low frequencies if you want to.
Okay.
Or you can tighten it up. For if you're using I don't know, like a baritone guitar or something of that nature, things could get a bit loose.
Yeah.
But it's just there for you to set to your preference, really.
Yeah,
There's
sure.
no right or wrong way to
Yeah,
exit.
and foot switchable functions both on the Lunchbox and the Super Kraken. You can obviously foot switch the channels and the masters.
Channels masters. There's also a solo override, which takes you from whatever you've got selected to master 2, gain 2.
Right, okay.
So it's just if gain 2 is your high gain solo,
Sure.
then you step on one button and it takes you there.
As with all Victory products, the Kraken is made right here in the UK. And for more information on the Kraken, head to our socials, to our YouTube channel, and to your local Victory dealer.